What is up, people? It is MewMonster58. Welcome back to another video review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager class Thundercracker, the final and third seeker to complete the trio of Skywarp, Starscream, as well as Thundercracker from War for Cybertron, as well as technically Fall of Cybertron games, because if you think that, when you're looking at Starscream's alt mode in Fall of Cybertron, it's basically the exact same, and so Thundercracker and Skywarp still exist in Fall of Cybertron, which excuse me, which they obviously do. Thundercracker's alt mode would not change as well. And so taking a look at the box here, you can see the very nice Transformers. You can see the Studio Series right here as well. Transformers War for Cybertron right down here, which is the main game he obviously appears and comes from. Thundercracker right there. You got some nice artwork here of Thundercracker, both in his jet mode as well as in his robot mode. You have the conversion in 29 steps here. More nice artwork here of Thundercracker on the side with the Transformers Studio Series. Got that nice Thundercracker on the side there as well. Transformers War for Cybertron right there as well. And then on the side here, see the nice Autobot logo, Transformers Studio Series, and then the Voyager class right down here as well. And then on the back is your obligatory product shots. As per usual, you can see the very nice product shots they have of Thundercracker here. And so that's really it for the box. And so as per usual with the box, I think they do a pretty damn good job. And so without further ado, alrighty folks, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager class Thundercracker in his jet mode, and I gotta say guys, this guy looks really good. I mean, if you're looking at the old other jet modes from Skywarp and Starscream, it's exactly the same as we are used to with these Seekers. But when it comes to this particular version of Thundercracker, I'm gonna say this I think this is my second or third Thunder. I think this is my second one I have in my collection that I'm thinking out the top of my head. And when we're thinking about Thundercracker, honestly, when I'm looking at this figure, and I was comparing this sort of to Skywarp and Starscream as well, and just handling this figure for the past few days, this figure, in my opinion, I don't know why, this blue for this mold in particular just works really well, in my opinion. And I think out of the three, he's kind of my favorite in terms of the look. I don't know, there's just something about the way they did the blue here with this mold that just screams that it's really, really well done overall. And so when we take a look at the jet mode, you can see it's the exact same as Skywarp and Starscream, but it does look really, really nice. The nice amber cockpit, the nice blue with the silver here, got some nice purple here for the Decepticon logo, purple here as well, the red here, the iconic red stripes on Thundercracker's wings. You have the nice blue going across, and there's a little bit of difference when you're looking at these, the wings here on the back, or the winglets. I'm not exactly sure what these would be called on a jet. For those of you who know what these would be called, you can enlighten me in the comments below. But this part is more metallic than the rest of the jet mode. It's very similar to the nose cone as well. You can see this is a metallic, and then you take a look at the wings here on the back, and these two are metallic as well, but the rest is the very nice blue. It's still really nice blue, like I told you. I don't know why, it just really works here. And sure, there's a little bit of issues here when it comes to how this vehicle mode in particular looks, particularly like this area, but it is relatively nicely filled in. Overall, like I said in the previous reviews for both Skywarp as well as Starscream, I really do like the jet mode, and I think they were able to nail it pretty damn well when we were looking at the game. This is pretty much how it looked like from the back in the game, because remember, this is your view in the game, right? Because yeah, you're a third person. But overall, when it comes to the looks of this, if you know Skywarp and Starscream, you know what to expect with the looks of this. But the color, again, I think they just did a really good job with this. And so we're going to set this guy up to the side here, and we are going to do our size comparison. So here's Thundercracker. Alrighty, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Infernac Universe Magnus, and when we're taking a look at this, obviously you have a Voyager class figure versus a Deluxe class figure. There's going to be a pretty good size difference here, but even though Thundercracker isn't what I would call a big Voyager, he is sizable enough to where I think the size class works, and he feels pretty hefty and pretty chunky. So overall, when it comes to the looks of Thundercracker in terms of the size, I think he's perfectly fine. The Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Gamer Edition Sideswipe from War for Cybertron as well. These two also look very nice together, but it totally makes sense. There's a pretty sizable difference between Sideswipe and Thundercracker here, but again, Deluxe versus Voyager, so you guys get the idea here. But they do look very nice together. Here he is with the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager Class Megatron. These two also look very nice together. Sure, I still think this is a product of Megatron. I think Megatron is still a little bit too small in his tank mode. I think he's a little too thin, especially when looking at it from the front. I think he should be a little bit wider. And this, I don't know, just add to the bulk of him. But overall, these two are pretty well sized together. It just feels weird to have one of the jets be bigger than Megatron, but I guess in their vehicle modes they probably would be. It just throws me off because I'm always assuming Megatron will more or less be the biggest of the Decepticons that isn't like Devastator or Predaking or something big, like a bigger big chunky Decepticon, because Megatron's usually stands tall among his minions. So, but I think the size is perfectly fine. Here he is with his brother Skywarp. These two look awesome together. And then here he is with the sort of de facto leader of the Seekers, Starscream. And again, these two also just look great together. If you know what to expect from Starscream and Skywarp, you know what to expect with Thundercracker. And just so you don't go out the video without seeing something like this, here they all are together. And these three look really, really nice together. Very, very happy to finally have all three of the Seekers from War for Cybertron, one of my favorite games of all time, one of the games I played the most of, in their vehicle modes and here together. They just look really nice together. Alrighty, folks, and before we get into the transformation, we're going to do the accessories right now because they're not really that much different from what we've gotten with the last few Seekers or any of the Cybertron Gamer Edition figures in general. So taking a look here, you do get the regular mace. Very nice. You do have obviously the painted blue to match Thundercracker, and then you can obviously split that apart. You have a port in there, right? But it does look very nice. The nice metallic purple paint with all the detail in it. It does look very, very good. I've been very happy with how they did the mace overall, but I do wish it was maybe black with purple glowy bits on the inside, but what are you going to do? I still think it does look very, very good. And then finally, you also get the Neutron Assault Rifle, which I'll show a picture of how that appeared in the game on screen right now. Does look very, very nice. It's pretty representative of what we got in the game. Not too much paint at all, just this dark gray plastic that you see on Thundercracker himself, but overall still looks really solid. Nothing too bad to complain about. Just wish maybe there was a little bit more paint on this, but those are your accessories, and then you obviously have your 5mm ports, and then you can port these into whatever you wish to do here, for your vehicle mode storage. But as per usual, when it comes to Transformers vehicle mode storage, it's usually terrible, and here it's pretty bad. It doesn't look good, but it's there if you want it. Alrighty guys, next we're going to get into the transformation, which I'm not going to show here. I've technically shown it already with the Starscream review, and so I will link the Starscream review in the upper right about now, and I will also leave links in the description to both the Skywarp as well as the Starscream reviews in the description. Would definitely appreciate if you gave those reviews a look as well, if you guys wish to see the reviews on those guys. But the transformation is exactly the same. There's literally no differences between them, and so we're going to take Thundercracker from looking like this in his jet mode, and now we can turn him into his robot mode. And I gotta say, like I said, the blue here just really works for me. I don't know what it is about this blue. I know that's the classic Thundercracker blue, but there's something about it with this mold that just speaks to me, and I really do like how it looks. And so the one major difference you'll end up seeing here with Thundercracker is mainly in the head sculpt. So I was looking at Starscream and Thundercracker's head sculpts. They're exactly the same with the same red eyes and the same mouth. The difference with Thundercracker here, kind of similar to Skywarp, I don't know if you'll be able to tell with the focus, but he's got like this sort of gritting teeth face instead of the sort of scowl frown, and instead of red eyes, he has yellow eyes. Now, in the game, I believe he had yellow eyes. It's been a minute since I've played. I'd have to relook at my Let's Play of it, which, by the way, I'll actually leave a link to that in the description as well if you'd like to take a look at my Let's Play of this game. But I do like how it looks on Thundercracker. I think with the blue, I think the yellow eyes end up working really well. Sure, the red would have been fine too, but at the end of the day, I'm actually perfectly fine with them doing the yellow eyes. And so, when you're taking a look at the other details, I mean, it's the same details you've seen across the other two Seekers, but it looks really, really good. I do like the black here on the front here to help give contrast from this very bright blue. Same thing with the forearms. Those look really, really nice. And then, obviously, the head looks really, really solid. Then you have the little purple here in the, whatever these would be, like vents, right, for the jet. And on the back, very clean back. You can peg stuff on the back if you wish to store it. And so overall, when it comes to the details of this, it looks really solid, and so I have nothing to complain about there. And so we're taking a look at the accessories. The applications are pretty simple, so you can obviously have him hold the mace with this, but you can obviously also have him hold it like this, right? It is a little bit heavy. That's one thing I'll, knock off on it for. It's a little heavy. And plus, I'll say, these wings on mine are a bit tight, and they kind of like to just get pulled off. It's easy enough to put them back on, but these wing bits here do like to come off rather easily on mine. I don't know if you guys are experiencing the same, who else has this figure, but that is an issue I do have. It's nothing too bad, but it's definitely something to note. And then obviously, just like any of the Cybertron figures, you can remove his right arm, and then you can attach it. So you have that peg hole right there, you have the peg in the arm, and then you can just peg it on just like it would in game. And there he is with the neutron assault rifle. It does look cool. The only issue I have too with this mold is I don't think there's any place to store this if I remember correctly, which is a bit of a shame because pretty much every the other figures, even the terrible barricade, has a place to store it. So a little bit of a shame there's no place to store it, but hey, very simple enough to just plug this back in like so. Like that, and you have your arm back as per usual. So overall, when it comes to the details and the accessories, nice integrations, nice applications, and the details also look really, really solid. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to do our size comparison. So we are going to set Skywarp off to the side here, and I'm actually probably going to raise up the camera a little bit here, just so we have a little bit more headspace. And so we're going to set him off to the side there. Here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, Voyager versus Deluxe. There's a pretty significant size difference here. Here he is with the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Deluxe Class Sideswipe. As you can see, Deluxe versus Voyager. Once again, there's a pretty hefty size difference, but these two look really nice together, even though I don't think they ever really met formally face-to-face like this in game, if I remember correct. Well, actually, trying to think. No, the mission where you fight Starscream actually isn't. You have Ratchet, Bumblebee, and Optimus in that one. So I don't think Sideswipe ever formally was face-to-face with Thundercracker like this. But these two look good together. This is the size I would expect, considering Thundercracker is obviously a Seeker. Here he is with the leader of the Decepticons, Megatron. As you can see, Megatron is obviously a bit taller, and this is where this figure actually, makes up for the fact that the vehicle mode kind of looks a bit scrawny. Megatron is definitely pretty hefty in his robot mode. He's a pretty big character. He's bigger than Skywarp here. I mean, bigger than Thundercracker. Jeez, I'm getting my Seekers mixed up. But bigger than Thundercracker here. It's nice to see that because obviously Megatron should be pretty much bigger than every other major Decepticon, again, unless you're a Combiner or generally a bigger Decepticon. Even Astro Train and Blitzwing aren't bigger than Megatron, so Megatron's a pretty hefty boy, ends up working out here for the Gamer Edition stuff. Here he is with the Seeker brother, Skywarp. Here he is with his other Seeker brother, Starscream. And here are all three of them together. These three look really, really, really good with each other. I'm not really going to have them hold any of their accessories personally, because I think they just look good standing there. Like, they just look like a really nice trio. And I think out of a trio of Seekers that you could own that aren't the G1 ones, these are going to be some incredible ones to own, because we never really got it in the Bayverse. You only ever really got Starscream. Sure, we got some, like, repaints of them in different, we got, like, a Thundercracker. I think we got, like, a Skywarp and a Thundercracker version of the Dorito Starscream, design from the Bayverse. But overall, when it comes to another trio of Seekers that aren't the G1 molds to own, honestly, these guys are a really good trio to own. So really, really happy with how this looks. And finally, for Skywarp's articulation, it's pretty solid, nothing to write home about, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. The only major thing that kind of sucks is the waist. I'll tell you that right now, just because it's blocked by the cockpit here. It's a little bit sucky, but what are you going to do? At least you do have waist in this, unlike some other figures, right? But for your articulation, obviously the wings can go back and forth like this, so you can get a full 360 here, out in a rotation to the upper part of the bicep, and you have a double jointed elbow, so you can get some pretty wicked elbow bend there. In addition to that, the head is on the ball joint, so you can look up and down. You can do a full 360, but it's a little bit constrained because of the way that the back here is with his head and everything like that. In addition, like I showed you the waist already, then you can kick forward, you can kick back. You have a little more than 90 here at the knee, rotation here as well, because this is a ball joint right here. And then you can lock the knee too. And then you have ankle rock or pivot, nothing crazy. Overall, it's pretty alright articulation, although if I were to say whether it's average or subpar, I'd say it's a tiny bit subpar, just due to the fact that the ankle rocker really isn't that wide ranged, and in addition to that, the waist joint is pretty limited, but overall, still pretty solid. It's just, and I forgot, wrist articulation too. You do have wrist articulation. You can twist them because of the ball joints in there, and that's really nice. But overall, it's a little bit subpar because of how the waist joint is, but still pretty solid overall. Alrighty folks, and for the reverse transformation, very similar to what I said earlier in the video. If you wish to take a look at the reverse transformation, the Starscream video and the Skywarp video, well, particularly the Starscream video, is in the link in the description, because obviously that was the first iteration of the mold, and I showed the full transformation there. So click the link down below if you wish to see the transformation for this mold. Again, there's no difference at all between his transformation as well as Skywarp or Starscream's. And so, we're going to take, once again, Thundercracker from looking like this in his robot mode, and back into this in his very, very cool looking jet mode. Alrighty guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studios series, Gamer Edition Voyager class Thundercracker from War for Cybertron, as well as technically Fall of Cybertron, this guy is really well done. Overall, when we're talking about the bad this thing does, in particular my copy, especially when you're talking about reusing molds over and over again, right? Usually, it's like, for an example, Motormaster of Animated Prime, you know, you reusing that mold. They did some improvements while making some of the joints a little bit tighter and stuff like that. The issue with this is that for the winglets on the back of mine, they definitely feel tighter, and that means they pop off easier because you're trying to force them enough without trying to break them, and when you're twisting them, they feel a lot more like fidgety, and they want to pop off more than the ones on Skywarp as well as Starscream. But overall, that's the major thing with the QC. You know, the other things, there's nothing really else there. The other thing too, when it comes to the jet mode in general, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous reviews, but there are some hollow spots, nothing too crazy. Also, in addition to that, the articulation, while it's solid, it is still a little bit subpar because that waist joint really isn't all that usable because it doesn't swivel all that far. In addition to that, the ankle rocker pivot, there's not too much as you would expect with figures nowadays. Overall, it's still solid articulation. You get the wrist, you know, you get more than 90 at the elbow, which is really, really cool because it's double jointed because of the transformation, everything like that. But yeah, it's not, the articulation isn't bad at all. It's just definitely a bit more limited than you would expect from a Voyager class figure. But what this figure does really well is I think that when it comes to this mold, like I had mentioned, the blue for some reason just really works for me for this mold, and I think out of the three, it's my favorite because the blue really pops with this mold for some reason. And in addition to that, he does look great in his robot mode. He comes with some nice accessories, looks great in his jet mode overall. And so I would give this figure probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10, very similar to what I gave Starscream as well as Thundercracker, or Starscream as well as Skywarp. This is a really good mold to get if you're looking for a set of non-G1 seekers that still have that essence of G1 while sort of taking the designs and spinning them on their head a little bit. This is definitely a trio to get. They look really good together. They all feel really hefty. The plastic quality is solid. They come with some solid accessories. And like I said, on the shelf, they will look really, really good all together. And so, I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description to that. Also leave links in the description both to Amazon as well as Hasbro Pulse if you wish to pick this guy up on those retailers instead of Big Bad Toy Store. And I really think that's it for the review. Also, actually, if you do decide to hunt this guy IRL, I imagine he should be hitting relatively soon, considering I got him in the mail. So if you are hunting him IRL, I definitely wish you the best of luck in hunting on that front. And so, I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials, and those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review. Catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.